Well, the Empco B-43 is finally done. Took quite a bit longer than I thought, but that's the way it works with these things sometimes. And it's always enjoyable when, I mean, if you remember what this thing looked like when I first started. I mean, the base particularly was pretty horrendous. The whole thing was filthy, and the base was really badly rusted. So it's I think it's come out quite nicely. Now, full disclosure here, I have actually tried to run this on air. And I have an air adapter I made years ago, which I can screw into the safety valve bush and connect a compressor to it, and it didn't run. I was really surprised. I thought, you know, I couldn't really work out why it wouldn't run. I mean, these engines don't require a lot of pressure. You know, you're talking about 15 psi, maybe a little bit more than that, and it should run fine on that pressure. But no, it tried, but it just wouldn't run. So I did a bit of investigating, and basically what I did was I took the steam pipe off and I put some compressed air directly into the engine block here, and it ran absolutely fine on almost no pressure. It ran perfectly. So I checked the steam pipe, that wasn't blocked, and I thought, oh, okay, well, it's got to be the boiler then. And it turned out, I'll show you, let's bring it around a little bit, stop it. What had happened, what I hadn't realised was that as you are aware, there was a dent in the top of the boiler at this end, where at some point either it had been dropped and landed on the chimney, or someone had just simply pushed it in and pushed down that way and put a small dent in this top end of the boiler. What I hadn't realised was that the threaded hole that the chimney safety valve, smokestack safety valve, screws into is in fact a bush, and I think that the force of whatever had pushed this in here had cracked the solder joint. I hadn't realised it, but where the bush has been soldered into the boiler, that joint was cracked, and the boiler was just bleeding off air. It wasn't holding pressure at all. I've just flowed a bit of solder all the way around the top lip of the bush there, and it now seems to be fine. I can put air into the boiler and it will run on a relatively low pressure. So I'm hoping, I mean, of course, as I've said many times before, just because a steam engine will run on air, that that does not mean that it will run on steam. But I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful with this one. I think it probably will. It certainly runs very nicely on low pressure air. So that's where we are. So the next stage is to get it steamed up. Well, I think we're about ready to go. Let's give it some steam. Oh yeah, that's all right. I did have to fiddle around with the conrod a bit. As it got hot, it was tightening up, which it didn't do under air. But obviously under steam, it gets hot and things tighten up and the rest of it. Excellent. That's what we like to see. Always nice when you can see them running on steam. See if my regulator screw works or not. Hope it does. Yeah, a bit of a leak there, but now the regulator screw works, which is great. Sight glass doesn't appear to be leaking, which is a major first for me. Let's turn it off, see if we'll stop it. Yeah, excellent. I'm pleased about that. Still bleeding a bit of steam, but not much. Let's try the whistle. Yes, what we like to see. Big thanks to my mate Stuart Owens for the whistle top. He had a few made up. That it's brass where it should be nickel plated, but it doesn't matter. It's the right size and everything, so that's great. So let's get some more steam. There we go. Lovely jubbly. Yeah, I'm really pleased about that regulator screw. I would have been very upset if I'd spent all that time making the bloody thing and it didn't do anything. But it definitely does. So the Empco B-43 finally running after all this time. Yeah, I'm well pleased with that. This is quite a long-winded restore. Well, there's been, what, 5 parts to the video series, so yeah, obviously. Let's see how slow we can get it to run. Oh yeah, I like that. Oh, that's good. That's nice justification for all that buggering around with those collets to turn the taper. It works. Probably a little bit too much there. The knock, you can hear there's quite a lot of slop in the crank. It is quite loose in the holes in the crank support, so that's why you get that knock. Yeah, I'm well pleased with that. And there we go. Wonderful. Well, nothing wrong with that. I'm well pleased with that. So I think that about wraps it up for the old Empco B-43. Lovely engine. Took a while to do, but, you know, well worth it. Get there in the end. So I hope you enjoyed the series of videos, and as always, thanks very much for watching. Cheers! Lovely stuff.